Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Ahoy, sailor! Are you enjoying the fresh winds of Sicile? Aye, that Cecil's worse than a rooster. Crowing all around town about matters he ought to know are better kept quiet. Well, if you know about the staff, I suppose you also know it's gone without a trace. For my part, I haven't a clue where it could have gone. Overboard, stolen, or vanished into thin air. Though I'm quite eager to see it return. I've got a reputation to uphold, you know. Wouldn't hurt to ask some of my men. I tried myself, but sailors tend to be a bit tight-lipped when they're afraid of getting one another in some trouble. Seaman's code, you know. Not to rat out a fellow sailor.
About the time the captain is a
Sauce? Here in Sicile? Of all that cursed hunks of rock to land on. Conrad. Now that you mention it, I noticed Dietmar, a fellow merchant travelling with us, carrying a sealed box off the ship during the attack. At the time, I figured he was just escaping with his personal effects. But it could well have been that staff you're talking about. Well, sure, I saw him slip off the ship, but I haven't a clue where he could possibly be now. Captain Conrad's the man to ask for such matters.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught.
Heard anything about the whereabouts of the magic stick yet?
Never sailed to Yusuf
What?
anymore.
That weasel has it for sure. But I'll tell you this. I didn't speak of that stuff to a soul on board. If he's the one who took it, he must have known it was on the ship before stepping foot on her decks. I'm sure he'll make a run for it, probably by boat. I'd look for him on an out-of-sight beach somewhere. He's probably there now, trying to launch a vessel in private. If he hasn't already escaped, that is.
Got caught passing a love.
Slimy, reeking.
Salutations! Source hunters, I see. I'm Sergeant Curtius, proud protector of this house of Legion goods. Curtius is my name, the Legion is my calling. This is a storing house for Legion supplies, perhaps the most important building in the realm, by my and others' estimation. And I, Sergeant Curtius, have been trusted to guard it.
Keep your pleasantries to yourself. What are you doing inside this warehouse, snooping around? If it's conversation you're looking for, I'd recommend my comrade Florius, or as I prefer to call him, Loose Lips McGee. As for myself, my job is to protect this warehouse, not chit-chat with intruders. That idiot man-child would sooner spend an hour chatting up a thief than a minute arresting him. I only hope he gets transferred out of this warehouse and straight to the perimeter. Let him rot off as zombies here instead of mine. Even thinking of him turns one into a gabbing hen. Please, leave me be.
Well, a source hunter. A very hearty welcome to our humble warehouse. Have a look around, and don't mind if I pick your brain about the scoop around Undervale. I'm behind on my current affairs. I tell you, this gig sure beats getting my toes bitten off by zombies out in the field. We warehouse guards don't have to do much apart from stroll the perimeter a few times an hour. And, of course, every now and again, some friendly folks, like yourself, will wander through here. And nothing beats a pleasant conversation, though my comrade Horatius has quite different opinions on that matter. Have you talked to him? Thinks every man, woman and child who steps foot in this place wants to rob it blind. If I so much as greet a townsperson with a hello instead of a state your purpose, he starts frothing on and on about guardly duty and security breaches. This Jake business is quite the scandal, no? I myself suspect his wife, Esmeralda, and the butcher seconds that, let me tell you. Then again, and you didn't hear this from me, he's going through quite the nasty divorce himself, and there's his children to consider. But I imagine his youngest, Kimberly, won't mind. Never did get on well with her mother ever since the incident. It's an unparalleled pleasure having a fresh air around here. That fusspot said what? Well, old loose lips will let that lowly backbiter know what he thinks about that. So, something you'd like to say to my face?
I haven't a thing to say to you. I'm on duty.
Duty, indeed. Put up your fists.
Are you mad? We're guards, not drunks on the streets.
Enough! Both of you! What is this barbarism? Back to your post at once!
This place reeks
Sir,
of orc stench.
this is an important matter. A matter of honor.
Such matters are to be settled on your own time. Understood?
Understood, sir.
Such bickering is all that thieves
One
need
day,
to sneak
Moira,
by
One day
unnoticed.
you'll show 'em
It
all.
won't happen again, sir.
It better damn well not. Port?
This place reeks of orc
Still
stench.
nothing, sir. Suppose there just aren't any thieves
Another
around.
perfect heist. You sneak with the subtlety of a tried and true cat burglar.
Why, thanks. I rather do, don't I? Ha! A few more heists and I'll be a fat cat in no time.
What big
No doubt about it. Your easygoing sleight of hand impresses me greatly, and will certainly continue to be highly advantageous to us both.
Now, it's just a turn of phrase.
One day, Moira.
Nonsense.
One day you'll show 'em
Listen.
all.
She's purring, the darling.
What fool would trust a two-bit love potion out of a back-page circular from youthful gore? Who better than a proven orc crusher to convince my dumbbell of a friend here that orcs are predators, not pets?
Enough of that. I know how dangerous an orc can be, but this one has been reformed. Anyone can see that she's completely docile. But my prejudiced friend here still wants to kill her.
Maybe before the great orc raid we had time to indulge Ninius's idiotic obsessions. But now we're needed at our posts. I can hardly believe I've been wasting time protecting an orc when I should be running them through.
Excuse my friend's violent outbursts. He hasn't enjoyed a woman's touch in quite some time now. It makes him a bit edgy.
Your woman's touch is less of a loving caress and more of a claw shanked brutally through the throat. I'll take my chances as a bachelor, thanks.
My friend here and I were patrolling outside the city walls, when who did I see creeping along the shore but this lovely orcish lady? For a brief second, as long as eternity, we locked eyes. Perhaps confused by the butterflies in her stomach, she sprang up and began running, claws bared towards Marius. Fortunately for him, I had the presence of mind to ignore my sword and instead adroitly fling my pouch of trinkets towards her. A vial of love potion shattered over her head, and when she turned to face me, she became instantly enamored. I'm sure she must have been compelled to join the Orcish army under some kind of duress. A lady with such a sweetly savage manner would never willingly join up with those vicious marauders.
Ha! I can assure you there wasn't a hint of sweetness in those murderous eyes when she lunged at my throat. She may be confined here for now, but who's telling when she'll escape and who she'll rip to shreds?
I've always had an amateur interest in all things alchemical. When I read in an esteemed periodical from the Wizards of Youthful Gore about an amazing opportunity that could change my life, I had to act fast or lose the once-in-a-lifetime deal. I sent away for the world-famous love potion, available for a limited time only, and it has worked exactly as promised.
You see what a fool my friend has been, spending all his cash on snake oil and bringing a temporarily tranquilized monster into our midst to boot.
What kind of monster would lie in a published advertisement? I'm sure the effects of the potion will be everlasting, as printed.
You see, he'd believe it was noon at midnight if he read it on a printed pamphlet. Please tell me you can reason with him, or ditch reason and use your sword to save him from his murderous darling.
Let her live. If that potion were truly worthless, it wouldn't have been able to charm her in the first place. In this docile state, she may prove to be a source of valuable information.
You would trust a quack magazine from Youthful Gore. She's clearly liable to snap at any minute.
Don't you want to see whether or not this experiment proves successful? A real working love potion. Think of the possibilities.
I ordered a similar love potion from Youthful Gore before, you know. Since you obviously have no special affection for me, I think we can conclude the advertisements just don't deliver.
No, we'll do as I say.
Bravo! I trust not only the potion, but my scaly sweetheart in and of herself.
You're going to regret this. We're all going to regret this.
Too bad indeed. Not even a skeptic like you can deny
One
that
day,
she loves me.
Moira. One
An
day you'll
orc in
show 'em
love.
all.
Ha! When this little charm fades, she'll liberate the flesh from our faces.
Come now, enough doom and gloom. Cast your gaze
This place
instead
reeks of orc
upon my
stench.
fair, fanged filly.
A man in love with an orc? Bloomin' bullfrogs. Is he blind, stupid, or both? Imagine the hell-sent mongrel that'll crawl forth from that union. Why didn't you put her down while you had the chance? Fie on yourself for not preventing the whole affair. You better hope their little mixed breed doesn't grow up with the strength of an orc and the wile of a man. An orc and a man. Next you'll be telling me one of you lot wants to marry a turtle.
Well, a source hunter. About time the council took us seriously. Maybe you can start with the two idiots hiding their pet orc here.
She's
Whatever happened to that troop of eager imbeciles we sent to the northern cave?
Do I seem like the sort who concerns myself with such things?
It's official. The Duke of Ferrol is the worst poet in Rivellon.
In his defense, not much rhymes with murder.
Ah, hello. I suppose you're here to viciously interrogate me for Which one? I've written, Esmeralda, more works of lyrical mastery than I can count. All that letter proves is my devotion to my lady, not any actual intention to do away with Jake. Yes, she and I have a history. That's hardly a secret anymore. I quite doubt it was even a secret from Jake while he lived. As easy as it would be to pin suspicions on Esmeralda or I assure you that the affair was never so steamy and sordid as the busybodies around town make it out to be. Jake and Esmeralda had no great affection for each other. He had his interests, she had hers, and there was little passion left between them. Certainly not enough to fuel a murder.
Thank the Seven, we've secured the perimeter.
Show all of them. Size seal.
Move along.
Legion's greetings. I have been informed about your heroics on the beach. Were that I had been there to partake in the battle. But my duties lie here, sworn as I am to protect Lady Esmeralda from the rabble that would enforce summary justice on her, even though she is, until proven guilty, wholly innocent. I am Septimus, 7th son in a household of 9, legionnaires all. Me and 2 brothers of mine were assigned to Sicile from day 1. Alas, both of them have long since fallen in battle against the dead. But never shall I lose heart. Long as a single legionnaire stands, all of us remain undefeated in the eyes of the gods. So fair a lady I have seldom seen in all of Rivellon, my friend. And I have traveled more extensively than migratory birds do. She stands accused of murder, but in my mind, her presumed guilt is a fallacy, and indeed a fabrication. Steadfast will I guard her. Never will I waver unless absolute proof of her culpability should be brought before me. And I hold no such proof exists. Jake's murder is, in a word, a tragedy. He was well loved in all of Sicile. The Council of 7 couldn't have wished for a better ambassador. That he of all people should have braved the undead siege for so long, only to be felled by foul sorcery, is heartrending. You claim to possess evidence that implicates Lady Esmeralda in the murder of her husband? Well, let's have it then. Let me have a quick read. Wait, what? There's another... I mean, she had an admirer who wanted her to kill her husband, then elope with him? What madness is this? It cannot be true! And what questions are those? I've fought orcs crazed with blood liquor, withstood assaults by ogres wielding clubs made of human bones and teeth. Aye, I've braved the poisonous spear tips of goblins aplenty. But never did I know fear until I faced the undead. Not a pleasant thing for a legionnaire to feel fear, but there you have it nonetheless. This place is practically a tomb, and these Sicilians are constantly crying for our attention. There's a zombie in my garden. An orc ate my baby. My sheep is gone. Oh, woe is me. It never ends. I'll be grateful when our reinforcements finally arrive. Maybe they'll manage to muster the will to care.
Lords above, grant me patience. You're a source hunter, aren't you? Here because you think I killed my husband. How many times do I need to state and restate my complete innocence in the matter? I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas, his widow. Poor man. We were both so young when we married. He so rich and I so poor, but his one and only princess just the same. Well, what do you want to know? Rather dreary these days, isn't it? As if the undead weren't enough to ruin the atmosphere, now the orcs have started harassing our harbour again. Praise be that Arhu the wizard has the wits about him to build these newfangled weapons of his, or Sicil would have been the very throne of decay by now. Because of him, life here is almost bearable again, despite the walking dead, though it's rather eerie and perplexing at the same time to think about how quickly one adjusts to the great dangers when a handful of guardians holds them at bay. Like I told just about every legionnaire in town, I don't know anything about poor Jake's murder. I want his killer found and tried, but everyone suspects me of this evil deed. And you're no different, are you? So what happened? Some of them tittle-tattling crab chasers down the pub call me a murderous gold digger and you believe them? These insinuations truly go beyond the pale. Oh, I think I'm getting one of my headaches. Oh, don't put stock in the hastily scribbled words of a lovelorn fool. This letter, it was a show of passion. A poorly worded passion I did not echo in the least. The Duke, he's like a spoiled child. He's not a man. He's not like Septimus. Starstone? I've never heard of such a thing. Dear Jake had a mineral collection, yes. As far as I knew, it was one of his pastimes, nothing more. Do you mean to imply he collected something dangerous? Something that may have gotten him into trouble? Oh, this is all too much. I feel like I'm drifting from nightmare into nightmare.
She seems to be quite adamant about her innocence.
We'll need to look for evidence if we want to prove she actually did the evil deed.
Sigurd's beard was a find!
My, what a strong and handsome officer you are, kind Septimus. You must have fought many a battle, am I right? In fact, I bet you're a real war hero.
Oh, I'm no hero. I'm just doing my duty, for the Legion.
Well, you certainly are my hero. The rock upon which I may rest my weary soul in these trying and troubled times.
Never fear, Millie. As long as I'm around, no care on your head.
A book about setting up the perfect crime.
Fighting those awful orcs. I can't bear to imagine something would happen to you.
Oh, but don't you worry, Millie. We Legionnaires are highly trained soldiers who fear neither orc nor demon.
Oh, but what if you were to be ambushed, caught unawares? Oh, catch me, for I might faint. So tell me, Septimus, would your wife or sweetheart be compensated by the Legion should tragedy befall you on the battlefield?
I suppose so. But seeing that I'm neither married, engaged, or attached in any way, I've never bothered to inquire.
Polite, handsome, and single. Don't go anywhere tonight, Legionnaire. I'd be afraid alone in the dark.
Legion's greetings, Hunter. You claim to possess evidence that implicates Lady Esmeralda in the murder of her husband? Well, let's have it then. This book has a dark reputation. Odd. Lady Esmeralda told me she's enamored with romances like the knight in see-through armor and Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom. Perhaps you had best ask her to explain.
The hunter returns! I hope you are here to shop rather than sleuth. So, what piece of irrefutable evidence are you about to present me with this time?
Oh, that horrid tome of ill repute. It isn't mine, it was Jake's. He was a politician, don't you see? Always on the lookout for plotting rivals. Always trying to be one step ahead. Really, I should have thought a source hunter of all people would appreciate my dear husband's sense for survival.
Those men hardly sound long for this world. What's taking Tenderfoot so long?
Anybody? Neither of you cares to speak for his very existence. Excuse me? This is a private sick room. Who in the name of the seven do you think you are barging in here? Out, I say, right this instant. Oh, I'm sorry. It's this task. I'm just... Who am I to meddle with life and death this way? I'm an apprentice of the healing arts. Healing! But this decision feels like precisely the opposite. I have but one healing stone, you see, and 2 direly wounded men who need it. I've been racking my brain trying to decide on the best method to settle this grave situation, but perhaps it's better off in the hands of an esteemed source hunter. Surely you are more accustomed to weighing life and death than I. What would you like to know? One of the brave few willing to traverse the trade routes plagued by the undead. A young man, but excellent in matters of business, before he fell victim to an orcish club in the north, that is. Thankfully for him, a cattle trader found him, nearly dead, but not quite so, and brought him here straight away. Quite the venerable staple of Sicile, Stephen, and recently blessed with his 3rd grandchild. He was leading a crew of builders when a stray beam struck him in the temple, and only a few days shy of his last day of work before retirement, no less. Nearly everyone in Sicile is familiar with grinning Stephen, and, as you can imagine, he's quite dear to his family. You are? I thank you a million times for your help. Who have you decided should receive the healing stone? Boris's life has just begun. We can't cut it short now. He should receive the stone.
There's no way Boris should receive that stone over Stephen. Think of Stephen's wife, his children, his grandchildren.
Boris is nearly our own age. Imagine being cut down now, in the prime of your life.
Stephen's death will hurt far more lives than Boris's will. Let's minimize the heartbreak of this terrible situation and save Stephen.
No, we'll do as I say. Boris it is? Yes, I'll deliver the stone. I'm glad we'll get to save one man, but my heart breaks for the other.
Thank
No,
the seven.
no, this is highly abnormal. What is this? This lightning?
I don't know what I did to deserve this, but I'm beyond grateful. I'm feeling stronger already. 1,000 thanks to you, my hero. I promise I won't waste the life you've given me. What will I do? What won't I do? Seeing how short life can be, how easily it can be taken from you, I'll see it all, do it all. And after I've climbed every mountain in Rivellon and smooched every girl who'll have me, I'll devote myself to learning the magic that saved me. Everyone deserves to feel the thrill of a renewed life. I'll see you around then. I'm liable to spring out of this bed at any minute.
Can't say I didn't want to live. Wanted it with every fiber of my heart. Not just for my own sake, but for my family, you know. Oh, my Matilda. What'll my sweet Matilda do? Enjoy what remains of your life, will you? Never know when it'll be snatched out from under you.
Sorry, friend. I wish there were enough stones for both of us.
Thank you eternally for your help. Though your reaction to the healing stone, I have no idea what to make of it. That strange reaction you caused, blue lightning from a healing stone, I've never seen anything like it. And the stone looks different now, too. Like it's devoid of life. I begin to wonder if its magical properties survived your little reaction. I've been studying under Theliron for some time now, but that task, being asked to play the gods, was the first time I've ever questioned my, well, suitability for the work. I've a passion for this work, you see. A passion to see things put in order, from a flesh wound healed to an entire city made resistant to a fatal illness. What right has something as trivial as a wound or as senseless as an epidemic to take a human life? Is that so? Well, I handled the corpse myself, indeed, but I hardly knew the man in life. I was shocked when Ahu asked me to come to the crime scene, but Theliron had taken ill, and the responsibility fell to me. I arrived at the inn, where the body lay just where it had fallen. The injuries were like nothing I'd ever seen. A single intricate laceration wove like lace around every inch of his skin. Neither a beginning nor an ending point were discernible. I examined the corpse and recorded what information I could. I personally delivered the corpse the short distance to the mortician's house. As far as I know, everything was, as far as a magical murder is concerned, quite normal.
Farewell, friend. Beyond grateful. I feel no pleasure in bidding you farewell, friend. I feel no pleasure in bidding you farewell, friend. Sorry, friend. I wish there were enough stones for both of us. Friend.
But if one were to reduce the quantity of skull dust by a percentage of 2, perhaps the stability could be increased by as much as 3-fold.
Oh, a source hunter. Imagine that. Quite a bit more petite than the last of your kind I encountered, aren't you? Yes, by nearly 20 centimeters of tibia, as my memory serves. But no matter. Even if it couldn't spare its heartier specimen, I'm sure the Order sent the individual with the next highest probability of success. Yeah? Me? Why, I'm more than a little surprised you haven't heard of me. Perhaps I can jog your memory. It was I who cured the Duchess of Arata of her unslakable thirst. A simple pinch of Atropa belladonna in her morning tea. I who discovered that aging itself can be halted by a single application of Secuta Douglasii on the tongue.
Not to mention that it's been my guidance that has permitted my apprentice Evelyn to make quite a name for herself around Sicile of late. Yes, yes. If that's how we're referring to the secretive use of a revolutionary healing method she refuses to share with her own master. She's in the other room as we speak. Perhaps you can prevail upon her to offer a demonstration. She's gotten hold of a stone, supposedly capable of fantastic feats of healing, but she won't let me take the briefest look at it. But she claims to have gotten the relic from a little northern town, Silverglen by name, and that an abbot there blessed it with the power to heal. Utter rubbish, I say. But with these blasted undead haunting the travel routes, I can hardly march up to Silverglen to learn the truth myself. Well, she certainly possesses a critical eye and an exacting manner when it comes to making difficult medical decisions. I expect she'll be a very successful healer in her own right when the time comes. She is learning from the best, after all. The world belongs to the young, they say, and Boris will live to take his piece. Thank you for your help in this matter. Certainly, what would you like to know? I've applied myself to that problem for 2 years and still haven't come a step closer to solving it. I declare it an act of the Almighty's, if I believed in such things. Some events, Source Hunter, can be neither controlled nor understood by mere men. The Councillor, terrible loss that. Though we were hardly more than acquaintances, I knew him to be a devoted civil servant. From what I can tell, it seems to be a simple case of jealousy turned violent. The affairs of his wife, Esmeralda, were hardly a secret, you know.
Mysterious healing stone? Interesting indeed.
Nothing sets me on edge like inexplicable
magic. She realized
magic.
enough that her little party tricks hardly make her worthy of such grave responsibilities.
That relic of Evelyn's the so-called healing crystal. I've seen one like it before, and by the Patriarch's pockets. It's a relic of Source. One look at that gem will be enough to convince me it's no force of good, but a bloodstone through and through.
I feel no pleasure in bidding you farewell, friend.
I've come across such a stone before. It may be capable of healing, as the good doctor describes, but its origins are as dark as midnight. Bloodstone is so named for a reason, you see. What starts as a pretty gem is corrupted by sick sorcerers who infuse it with the blood of the slain. If that stone is what I suspect, I wouldn't trust Sicile's so-called healers any more than I'd trust a pyromancer on a wooden boat.
But her little party tricks hardly make her worthy of such grave responsibility. Soothing a corpse's troubled mind. Can't have gotten far.
My word!
It is said, and this I have heard from a ghost who knew Elba, who knew Elliot, who is said to have known Sigurd himself, that the king had a great thirst for colour. So ardently did he crave free blues and gory reds that he ordered a contest across his realm.
Fantastic!
Today,
You there! Take a seat! Prepare to laugh your head off, cry your eyes out, and teeter on the edge of your seat with an original tale from Stefan, the Talking Severed Head. I am Reginald the Illusionist, purveyor of the most amazing artifact in Andevale, this fantastical talking head. Catch the act while you can. This show will only remain in Sicile as long as there are Legion soldiers to entertain. That's right, a talking head. And he doesn't just talk. He'll weave you a yarn so fantastic, you'll be begging to hear just one more, and just one more. It's quite a story how I found him, too. I obtained this curio by some rather sensational means. You see, I was diving in search of a rare medicinal sea herb. I volunteer at the local children's apothecary on weekends, in the shallows around Sicil's own Black Cove, when I spotted something amazing. The chest belonging to the fabled Captain Pontius. Though the chest was stuck fast, I summoned a swell of great strength and prized it free from the ancient rock. I had the treasure of a lifetime in my very hands, but then, slurp, gulp, I was swallowed by an ornery kraken that seemed to appear from nowhere. In the hubbub, I lost hold of my prize and watched it sink to the bottom of the beast's cavernous belly. Still, I feared only for a moment that all was futile. Before my mind's eye swam the faces of the many war widows and necrotic orphans who would be lost without my charitable support. I knew I had to live. Grabbing fast to the hilt of a cutlass that floated by at just that moment, I summoned all my strength to slash a great gash in the creature's gut. Freeing myself from my would-be tomb, I swam as quickly as I could, first to the surface and then to the shore. It was there, along the rocky beach, that I tripped over this talking head. Strange, isn't it? What a generous spectator! Find a seat in the front, eh?
A talking head? What dark sorcery is this?
Oh, a strange fellow, isn't he? Hello, little friend. Oh, don't be afraid.
It is
What's
said,
your
and this
name?
I have heard from a ghost who knew Elba, who knew Elliot, who is said to have known Sigurd himself, that the king had a great thirst for colour. So ardently did he crave creamy blues and gory reds, that he ordered a contest across his realm.
My word.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Oh, excuse me, I'm trying to prepare for the next show. Autographs will have to wait until the end. I doubt I have to tell you that I am the amazing singing Stefan, the only sentient severed head in Sicile. My audience sings my praises from hill and dale. Psst, you're a source hunter, aren't you? Oh, bless the seven. Oh, you've got to help me. I've been kidnapped. Pleasure to meet you. Now, please, Stefan has many fans to meet today. Psst, help me. Take me to Reginald's cellar. There I will reveal everything. It won't be the worst indignation I've suffered. Get on with it, then.
That is enough of that now!
Fantastic! Bravo! Bravo!
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Oh, excuse me, I'm trying to prepare for the next show. Autographs will have... Patience, patience. Once we reach Reginald's cellar, I'll reveal every last sordid detail. Pleasure to meet you. Now, please, Stefan has many fans to meet today. Psst, help me. Take me to Reginald's cellar. There I will reveal everything. What do you call a source hunter who finds a way to draw a crowd away from where he or she would like to perform a clandestine operation? A resourceful hunter. Come now, it can't be that hard to find something to draw off the attention of this bleating herd. I think
Fantastic!
The great
What are you looking at me for? There's a great show going on right in front of you. And look, there stands the world-famous Reginald the Entertainer. Better check it out if you don't want to miss the time of your life. Oh, I'm nothing but your average man taking in the best show I've ever seen. I'm amazed and astounded that for a meager gold coin or two, I can take in this first-rate entertainment all day long. Well, I've stumbled into quite the fine gig. I just let my appreciation for Reggie's work be known, and he slips me a few gold coins in return. My voice happens to carry pretty far. Sicile hears me. Sicile wants to see what the fuss is all about. And let me tell you, this amazing show just can't be beat.
Showman, show all of the Sicile what you're made of.
You there! Sit! Stay a while.
right in front. I'll excite you. I'll delight you. I'll beguile you. I'll besmile you. I'm Cedric the Sensational, and I'm playing to an empty audience. Don't pity me. No, sir. Just a few years ago, I was the all-singing, all-dancing, all-sensational darling of the town. People came from far and wide just to witness my amazing act. When Reginald came, he brought some fantastic prop with him. Now, have you seen it? A talking head. Now, I never expected a silly gimmick like that to be my main competition. It seems even my usually choosy audience has been taken in by that hack's little gizmo. I'm a man of skill, sleight of hand, feats of wit, and pure entertainment. This curio is ruining what used to be an art. And even when there's no crowd to speak of, old Reggie still has at least one fan calling bravo and hee-haw. Sure as the sun sets, that one devotee attracts 5 more, and those 5 more all curious about the commotion. I don't know how he inspires such loyalty with less talent contained between his hat and his boots than I've in my crusty handkerchief. I, a person whose sole job is to praise the performance and stir a crowd, a genius invention. No wonder Reginald has had such success. I knew his act couldn't have outshone mine on its merits alone. Please, you must hire him for me. Imagine the scowl on that conman's face when my rightful audience returns to me. A must-see event. Stage calling you.
Fantastic! Fantastic!
Tricks are for kids!
What are you looking at me for? There's a great show going on right in front of you. And look, there stands the world-famous Reginald the Entertainer. Better check it out if you don't want to miss the time of your life. Well, I don't see why I should. Reginald and I have grown rather friendly, you know? And in any case, it'll be hard to pull myself away from this fantastic show.
Like someone who's ever been serenaded by a severed head? Step right up! Ah! You there! You don't look like someone who's ever been serenaded by
I guess it's been long enough since I've stretched my wings a bit, and it ain't so far of a flight now, is it? Maybe I will have a peek at what Cedric's up to over there.
You look like an actor just waiting for his...
What?
You there! You look like an actor just waiting for his big debut.
Can you spare a coin?
You there! You look like an actor just
inside seal!
waiting for his
The
big
best!
debut.
Hey, it's you again! I don't have to tell you that Cedric's act will help you banish belly fat and inspire your kids to say no to drugs.
Showman! Show all of the Seal what you're made of! Oh, beer and flatulence.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, that Gallagher is quite the performer. One of my own ilk. Sometimes all the flies need is a little honey, eh? And things are certainly buzzing around here. You
Wow.
there. You look like an actor just waiting for his big debut.
tricks are for kids! This here is the greatest illusion in Andavale! Strange! You appear to be my only client. Did the whole of Sicil eat some bad chicken, or what? Aye, these Sicilian cows wouldn't dare chew their cud without the full support of the herd. Without my crowd warmer, I can't attract a crowd for the life of me. I knew that fool could never have garnered so much as a guffaw on his own merits. I'll see to this matter immediately.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Oh, excuse me, I'm trying to... It won't be the worst indignation I've suffered. Get on with it, then. Not here, not now. We'll be better off speaking in the privacy of the cellar. There are eyes and ears everywhere. You know the healer's clinic, don't you? Oh, what's his name? Theliron. Yes, behind Theliron's house of healing, along the cliffs, you'll find Reginald's sparse little shack. There I know we won't be overheard. He keeps a spare key right near the place in a pen guarded by a rather lonely little sheep. You can't miss the bugger.
If you think black sheep are weird, try weir sheep.
Well, what's this I've spotted?
What's that gleam?
Ah, a little privacy at last. Out of earshot of that contemptible jester. We can finally speak freely. Where shall we begin? My true name is Nick. In life, I was an entertainer aboard the ship of the famed Pontius Pirate. I once dared to defy him and he savagely beheaded me for the attempt. Little did I know the abuse was only beginning. A wandering sorcerer, mad as the day is long, found my severed head on the beach and resurrected me. I spent months in his company listening to him blather on about his every inane opinion. When I asked him to return my head to my body, it must be in the Black Cove still, he became enraged and tossed my head into the sea. Reginald stumbled upon me some days later and consigned me into his horrid little show. I know not how long I've been entertaining slack-jawed imbeciles at the Sicil Fair. All I know is I just can't take it anymore. More than anything. But the chances are so slim with the Black Cove utterly infested with Pontius's undead cronies. My poor lost body is among them, sightless and silent in their vile company. For all I know, they're using it as a coat rack. Traveller, if there were any way you would brave the cove's depths and reunite me with myself, you'd be doing me the only kindness I'd have received in as long as my poor memory serves. That charlatan doesn't have a lick of his own talent, so he begs, borrows and beats it from those of us with a real vision for the stage. What I wouldn't give to give old Reggie a swift kick in the jugglers. Oh, to have legs again. It won't be the worst indignation I've suffered.